Is there evidence? Can we see evidence?
The Quran says if this book wasn't from God, you should be able to imitate it. Either the whole book of it, 10 chapters of it, or even a single chapter. Quran even challenges and gives this falsification test. And Quran doesn't just stop there. It says like if you really think it's not from God, you can't do it yourself, then go and seek helpers and supporters if you need to besides God. Why is it that 1444 years or so has gone? People still are unable to meet this challenge of imitating.
What do you mean imitate?
Bringing something like the Quran. The Quran is an Arabic language on its own linguistic genre and its own stylistics. Yet, this is different from ordinary Arabic speech, different from the speech of the pre-Islamic poets. It is different from the speech of the soothsayers. So the Quran is on a linguistic genre absolutely unique in its meters, rhymes and stylistics. Of course, the content goes with it with eloquence. If it was something, a human speech made up from one human being or a collection of a human being, you should be able to imitate it. If I ask now ChatGPT, compose me a Shakespeare sonnet, it will do that straight away in 30 seconds. And someone who's a Shakespearean scholar will say, yeah, it's exactly with this criteria. But if you ask ChatGPT, nicely enough, imitate the Quran, it would not be able to. I've got a whole more than 1 hour video on this, trying to help it out to make and imitate the Quran, and eventually he had to agree that he cannot because of the nature of the Quran and its stylistics.
Did you not say the same thing about the Bible? And if not, tell me why.
The Bible doesn't even challenge anyone because it's human speech, human writings, human authorships, and you can compose something like the Bible. Have you seen, for example, the writings of the Church of Latter-day Saints, Book of Mormon? Sounds very much like the KJV, very similar. But the Quran in Arabic language, which is the original language, nothing can imitate it. So one of the most powerful evidence of Islam being true, Prophet Muhammad being the true prophet, Quran being the divine revelation from Allah, is this inimitability challenge of the Quran. People have been trying for the last 1400 years. Why is it so difficult? We ask the Orientalist scholars, why don't you attempt to try it? They don't even go near it because they know they can't.
1400 years is a tiny speck amount of time. You should give it millions, really.
Who were the best people to imitate the challenge of the Quran? The people who at that time were the best in their language. The Arab poets during the time of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, contemporary people who were masters and experts in the language, who would live and die poetry, hang the best poem in the wall of the Kaaba. They were the best to meet the challenge. And they're the ones who conceded and they said, this is not the speech of a human being. They're the ones who said this was magic, not the speech of a human being.